I was enjoying being incognito. Long before I ever dreamed of getting into politics, I was out of work geologist and opened a large restaurant in Denver called the Weingarden Brewing Company, brewed its own beer. Took us 2 years to raise money. My mother wouldn't even invest, although you don't really care about that. We put a jazz club in the basement, so I became a venue. And so we were the place between Chicago and San Francisco, so Freddie Hubbard would come and play a weekend. We didn't ever get any of the big acts, but we did well enough to lose $30,000 or $40,000 a year, which I looked as collateral damage because people came in and ate in the restaurant upstairs. But I did get a sense of how it worked. Got to be friends with a guy named Doug Kaufman, who was a local promoter. He was trying to renovate this beautiful old theater from the 20s, the Ogden Theater, and I knew him from that. And he was putting on a show at Red Rocks, and he had Spin Doctor, Gin Blossoms, and Cracker. This is like in 1993 or 1994. And his father, who would always loan him the money when time came due to make the big down payment for the lead act, which in this case was the Spin Doctors, his father would do it. His father was building renovating his house, so he couldn't do it. So he came to me, and I got my restaurant. We co-signed the $40,000 loan, so we'd give all that money to the Spin Doctors, who turned out to be out of fashion by the time the concert started. And Doug had promised me that you could tell how much they'd already sold 25% of the seats 2 months out. And he said, I guarantee you, you won't lose money. And we didn't. And that, there's a poster somewhere in the universe where it's produced by Nobody in Particular Presents, that's Doug Kaufman's company, and the Weingarten Brewing Company. But I saw just how arbitrary, how fast it all happened. I ended up, basically, I took all my ill-gotten gains and put them back into gift certificates to help him renovate the Ogden Theater. But it created this, once I became mayor, and the city of Denver owns the Red Rocks, I became obsessed with why can't we do more acts and more things, and it turned out we could. It turned out the mayor gets to make that final decision. And I think that's where a lot of my passion from this kind of comes from, is seeing how it works up close and personal. Let me start, Mr. Weingarden. Thank you for joining us today, and your work in the Colorado music industry has helped keep us a leader in music. Now that the senator from Washington is gone, I can say really on a per capita basis, way beyond Washington. Next year, Boulder's actually going to start hosting the Sundance Film Festival. As you mentioned, when fans purchase a ticket, they expect to be allowed to enter the show to get what they paid for. Can you paint a picture for us when Coloradans attend one of your venues and realize they're the victim of buying speculative tickets or fake tickets? What happens?
Yeah, and that is a daily occurrence. Anytime that we have shows, we have issues. Doesn't matter how big the act is or how small the act is. People are coming into our box offices at the Fox Theater, the Boulder Theater, the Aggie in Fort Collins, and they are, and not only is the fan helpless, but the venue is helpless because we have the only way that we can help them, as I had mentioned before, is that we can give them, we have these sheets printed out, laminated sheets printed out that say the customer support of each of the different, the scalper sites, so they can call. But the problem is that one, the phones don't get answered, the emails don't get, people don't respond to the emails, and it's always after the fact. And so what happens is we're at a loss. We have no recourse that evening, and so we're left with a father who brought his teenage daughter to a show. They've come in from out of town. They've bought. They have hotels. They've went to the restaurant. They've done everything that they did. They're out of that money. Where does that? Right. Where's the recourse there as well? So we see this on a daily basis, and it's a massive problem.
Oh, well, we will do our best to fix that. Mr. Ritchie, and I'm sure you've been astonished seeing, just as we all have, that the revenue that an artist makes is now no longer your royalties. It's where you perform, at least for most people. I think you might be in a different league in that. But you've worked with countless venues and performers and middlemen and promoters and platforms. And as much as you love seeing fans sold out, I wanted to ask just a question about dynamic pricing and whether there isn't a way to get the artist more money from that. If that ticket's going to be resold, shouldn't the artist get a piece of that, a cut of that? And wouldn't that justify that open market after tickets have been sold?
I don't know if it justifies it, but it definitely would have shut everybody up for a little while longer. If they would have let the artists share.
That's all we hope for in the Congress,
Yeah,
right?
secondary market or whatnot. But I think that was kind of, they started this thing called platinum ticketing, and that's kind of what it was. They kind of shared some of that revenue with the artists. It was just this, it's like, no, we don't want any of this. And to be honest with you, back in the day, I didn't really understand it. I don't think most acts do either. You got these managers who aren't really managers anymore. Manager used to just look out for one act. Now they have these conglomerate of acts. They have 10, 20, sometimes hundreds of acts. So they got to play nice with everybody. They can't just go, screw you, this is what my artist wants to do, blah, blah, blah. Right. And they're going to take as much money as they can because they usually get paid a percentage off the top. So I'm not a fan of any of that. Like I said, I would rather just have them like an airline. I'm going to have some first-class seats. I'm going to have some economy seats. You're going to know what they are right up front.
Yeah, well, I'm out of time. I do appreciate all of you being here. When I first got elected governor, we had the One Republic, Lumineers, Nathaniel Rateliff, and Nice Sweats all came in and donated their time to play for our inaugural. That was fun. That's a good show.
And like most good fans, you remember those special nights.
Exactly.
Around a concert and around a venue. Senator Markey.